The movie opens as a man named Royce falling out of the sky. After a few seconds, he wakes up and discovers his situation. He tries to open his parachute, but it doesn't work. At the final second, his parachute automatically activates before he hits tree branches and makes a hard land. He wakes up to find himself in the middle of a jungle, wearing his combat outfit and having his rifle. Just then a man named Cachillo also lands. He points his guns at Royce, who tries to calm him down. Before they can shoot each other, another man falls down. But the man's parachute didn't open, making him fall to his death. As both of them got distracted by the dead man, they got shot at by someone with a minigun. They both take cover immediately, and Royce sneaks on the shooter behind him and holds a gun to his head. The man is revealed to be Nikolai, and he got there just like them, falling from the sky. None of them remember what happened before they got dropped. Just then, they find a woman named Isabel, who points her sniper rifle at them. She also got dropped, and she says she has been to many jungles, but she doesn't know this one. She tells them that she saw many parachutes in the other direction. They then come across two men who is fighting each other to death. The two men is revealed to be Stans and Mombasa. Stans says they should help a guy who is stuck on a tree. A man named Edwin is stuck on a tree and shouting for help. Before Isabel helps the man, Royce just shoots the tree branch and helps the man. The man reveals himself to be a doctor, and he too, just like the others, doesn't remember what happened before he got dropped from the sky. They then continue to move forward and finds a man named Hanzo, who is staring at a strange object. Below the object is many skulls and bones. They all give their theories why they got there, and is then revealed that Stan was about to be executed before he got there, and both Nikolai and Mombasa was in a battle. Royce then starts to leave, saying he is going to a higher ground to plan his next move. As they are following Royce, Nikolai comes across a strange plant, and before he touches it, Edwin stops him. Edwin cuts the plant open, where a liquid-like substance comes out. He tells Nikolai if he got scratched he would be completely paralyzed. Nikolai thanks him and says he will watch his back. After they walk for a while, most of them decides to take a break, but Royce continues to move. Isabel stops him, saying she can show him something crazy. She makes an improvised compass and puts in the water, but the compass keeps rotating. Royce also points out that the sun hasn't moved since they got there, and says that they might have a problem. Isabel asks him what he thinks is going on, and Royce points out that Nikolai is Spetsnaz, Alpha Group from Russia. Cachillo is a member of Las Zetas, a cartel enforcer. Mombasa is RUF, a death squad from Sierra Leone. Hanzo is a member of the Yakuza. Stans is the FBI most wanted. He says they are all heavy hitters and only Edwin doesn't belong since he is a doctor. Isabel then says Royce is ex-military, a member of Black Ops, and is now a mercenary. It is also revealed that Isabel is a member of Israel Defense Forces. As they continue to move forward, they come across a cage that got dropped. When they look inside, they only found some kind of strange substance, indicating that there is some kind of creature out there. Stan looks up and sees many cages that got dropped. As the group continues to move, Mombasa trips on a branch, accidentally triggering a trap. A huge tree trunk comes at them swinging, but they manage to duck quickly. Then a bunch of flying sticks tries to kill them as they try to escape. Hanzo nearly got impaled by a big bear trap, but he manages to evade it. As Isabel tries to escape, she nearly falls down into a hole, which is filled with a bunch of sharp sticks. She holds onto the edge as her hands begins to slip. Royce quickly gets to her and pulls her out. The group then discovers they have triggered a dead man's trap, judging from the man's decomposition. Edwin says the man has been dead for at least 2 weeks. Nikolai checks the man's pocket and sees that the man was United States Special Force, and he was supposed to be deployed in Afghanistan. Royce says the trap weren't meant for them, but for something bigger and stronger. He says that whatever it was, it got through the trap and killed the man. As they continue to move, Mombasa looks up at the tree and sees some kind of moving thing. He cannot see what it is because it is invisible. Isabel asks him what it is, but Mombasa rebuffs her, saying it was nothing. He wasn't wrong, as something is watching them. The group finally reaches a higher ground, and to their surprise they are not on Earth, but on another planet. Royce says they are gonna need a new plan. The group then enters the jungle once again to find an answer. As they were going, a drone flies past them. Stan begins to complain about the fact that he has no gun to defend himself with. He threatens Mombasa into giving him his gun, but before they could kill each other, something starts to come in their direction. Just then, some kind of beastly creature starts to run toward them. The group then opens fire at the creature, shredding it into pieces. But before they could celebrate, more of them starts coming their way. Edwin and Stan begins to run as they doesn't have a gun. Edwin trips over and is nearly killed by the creature, before Isabel shoots the creature in the head and kills it. As Stan continues to run, he got tackled by one of the creature, who tries to eat him. Stan does his best to stay alive, even begins to stab it. But before he gets killed, Mombasa gets to him and shoots the creature for him. Royce and Hanzo holds their ground, as Royce even kills one of the creature using his machete. Isabel gets cornered by one of the creature as her sniper runs out of bullet, and her handgun does no significant damage to the creature. Before she kill herself, a whistle gets blown and all the creatures retreat. After the creatures left, the group gathers and starts to reload their weapons. Royce says that they are being hunted, and whoever sent the creatures is trying to test them. Just then, they hear what sounds like Cachillo calling for help. The group goes to investigate, and they find Cachillo sitting in the middle of the forest. They can't see his face as he is giving them his back. Isabel attempts to help him, but Royce stops her, saying it is a trap. He picks up a rock and throws it near Cachillo, and some kind of electrified trap activates. Royce says they will leave him, but Isabel says she can't. She stays and tries to shoot him to end his suffering, but to her surprise, Cachillo just keeps begging for help. It is then revealed to the camera that Cachillo is dead, and that he is being powered by the thing that is hunting them. The group then stops to plan their next move. Royce says that the thing that is hunting them wants them to run, as it is easier to kill them one by one. He suggests to follow the creature's track and see who they are up against. The group then follows the creature's track and arrives in a strange place. The place is filled with skulls and bones, with numerous dead bodies hanging around all over. The group then discovers an alien creature that is tied up against a tree. All of them get shocked by what they are witnessing. Then suddenly Royce disappears from them. As they look for Royce, Mombasa gets impaled by the predators and gets killed. Royce appears again shooting at the predators. It is then revealed that there is more than one predator. The rest of the group starts shooting as they make a run for it. The predators uses advanced weapons to try and hunt the rest of the group. The group finally reaches a waterfall and jumps to escape. After they escape, Isabel punches Royce, saying he set them up and used them as bait. Royce says now he knows what they are up against, and that the predators use projectile and energy-based weapons, and that they also wear cloaking device. Royce then exposes Isabel, saying that she was not that surprised when she first saw the predator that was hung up on the tree. She says they came in contact with the predators back in '87, Guatemala, when a 7 Spec Ops team went into the jungle and only one of them made it out alive. He said they came in contact with the predators, who wore camouflage that adjust to ambient light that made it nearly invisible to human spectrum, and that they can also see heat signatures. Royce suggests they set up a defensive perimeter and make it look like they are just holding up to bring the predators to them. Then they force them to a choke point and get them to an overlapping field of fire and kill them. The group then sets up the trap and starts to wait for the predators to show up. Then suddenly, something starts to make movement. It runs around them, but it is not going toward them. They then send Edwin as a bait to lure the predator to them, so that Isabel can take it out with her sniper. Isabel shoots and killed the predator. When the group goes to the body, they see that it is not the predators, but other kind of alien species that got dropped from the cages earlier. Isabel then reveals she has missed the shot, revealing that something killed it. Then one predator shows up and points its weapon on Royce. It takes its mask off, revealing that it is not a predator, but a man named Ronald Noland. Noland tells the group that he smelled them the moment they got dropped, and that if he can hear and smell them, the predators can too. When they ask him who he is, he just says he is the man that got away. He then takes the group to a huge abandoned spaceship. Inside, Noland tells the group that the machine is dead, but the power source still works. He takes them to a place where he lives, and the place is filled with different stuffs, including old armors and C4s. Isabel asks him how he survived, and he tells them that he survived by salvaging what he can. Royce asks Noland if he killed a predator, and Noland says that he killed 2 or maybe 3 predators. He tells the group that there are 2 kinds of predators, and the larger ones hunt the smaller ones. He tells them that the predators bring in fresh prey every season to hunt them, and every once a while the prey kills the predators, and that's when the predators gets interested. And when the predators get back the next season, they improve their armor, weapons, and tactics, so they become better at killing. Royce asks him how the predators comes back each season, and Noland tells him that they have a ship 30 yards from their camp. Noland then says he is going to sleep and leaves them. Hanzo found an old samurai sword, meaning that the predators were hunting people from Earth long time ago. Royce speaks to Isabel, who tells him that before she got brought down here, her spotter got caught by rival group, and she could have helped him, but she chose to stay hidden as she was afraid she will get caught and killed too. She tells Royce that the reason they got chosen by the predators was because they are the monsters of their own world. She tells him that it's better they never return to Earth. Royce tells her that he is going back, and that he is planning to steal the predator's ship by the help of the predator that was hung up at the camp. Then suddenly, the group notices the room being filled with smoke. They discover that Noland is no longer there, but he is outside burning a fire to try and kill the group. Royce picks up his rifle and shoots at the door. Even though it doesn't open it, it makes enough sound to lure the predators to their location. As Noland tries to escape, he is found by one of the predator, who blows him into pieces. The group escapes their trap and starts to make their way out. As they pass through a puzzle-like place, Edwin gets left behind. As he wanders around looking for his group, he gets found by one of the predators. Before the predator could kill Edwin, Nikolai shows up and gets him out. As they try to catch up with the rest of the group, Nikolai gets shot in the back by the predator. Before the predator could finish him, Nikolai reveals that he is strapped to numerous C4s and grenades. He pulls the pins and blows himself up, killing the predator in the process. The group finally makes it outside, and as Stan starts to celebrate, the main predator shows up and shoots him in the back. The predator then aims its weapon at Royce, but before he could shoot him, Stan holds him from behind and begins to stab it. He tells the rest of the group to go. The predator finally manages to get Stan off his back, and finishes him by ripping his spinal cord out. The second predator arrives and starts to scan the thermal signature of their footprints. The group then starts to make their way toward the ship when they suddenly hear one of the predator following them. Hanzo stays behind to hold the predator, giving the group a chance to escape. He takes off his coat and takes out his samurai sword. The predator shows up and they engage in a big fight. The predator uses its strength to throw Hanzo around and cuts him in his back with its blade, before Hanzo cuts him with his sword. Hanzo finally lunges at the predator, where they both cut each other. The predator finally falls to the ground and dies, but Hanzo has also sustained serious damage, and he also falls to the ground and dies. The rest of the group continue to run toward the ship, but Edwin accidentally steps on a trap and his leg got caught. Edwin begs them to not leave him, but Royce says that the predator wants to help him, as he will slow them down long enough for the predator to catch them. He tells Isabel they could use him as bait to lure the predator so they can both escape. Isabel, however, does not agree with Royce, saying she is not going to leave him like this. She stays with Edwin to help him as Royce continues to go to the ship. Royce goes to the predator that was hung up at the tree, and tells it that he will cut it down, but only if it can help him get off the planet. Royce cuts the predator down, before the predator holds him by the neck. It is then revealed that the predator is a female one, and it lets go off Royce, where she puts her mask on and sets the ship's destination to Earth. Back at the forest, as Edwin and Isabel try to escape, they get caught by a trap set by the predator. The predator arrives and takes them both to a hole where he will hold them captive. The predator then arrives at the female predator's destination to find her free. Royce escapes to the ship as the two predators prepare for a fight. The two predator lunges at each other and starts to fight brutally, but the main predator soon overpowers her and finishes her off by decapitating her with its blade. The predator then runs toward Royce, who is already lifting off. Royce manages to fly the ship away before the predator gets to him. Unfortunately, the predator had a bomb planted at the ship, and uses it to blow the ship before Royce could escape. Back at the hole, Edwin asks Isabel if she would save him all over again, and she tells him she would. She tells him not to worry, as she will kill them both quick before the predator could get to them. As she turns her face away from him, Edwin takes out a surgical knife and cuts her with it. It is revealed that the surgical knife was contaminated with neurotoxin, which paralyzes someone if it came in contact with the blood, and Isabel starts to feel dizzy before she could do anything. She falls off to the ground and starts to get paralyzed. Edwin tells Isabel that unlike them, he wants to stay, because back at Earth, he is a murderer, but among the predators he is normal. Before he could kill her, Royce comes back. Edwin then acts like nothing happens and tells Royce that the predator gave her something that paralyzed her. Royce pulls both of them out of the hole. Royce takes Isabel and tells her that she is so busy taking care of others that she forgot to take care of herself. As Royce is focused on Isabel, Edwin tries to cut him too, but Royce already knows what he was about to do and he grabs his hand and makes him stab himself. Royce then starts to set a trap for the predator. The predator arrives but doesn't see both Royce and Isabel there. As he looks around for them, he finds Edwin laying on the ground. After the predator stabs him first, he turns him over to find that he is strapped with numerous grenades, where they immediately go off. The predator then gets up to find Royce holding a fire. Royce sets fire around the predator, which makes the predator's mask glitch. Royce uses this advantage to strike the predator numerous times before the predator finally manages to detect Royce's heartbeat. The predator then fires its weapon, which knocks Royce down. The predator then catches him and starts to throw him around. Isabel then starts to crawl over to her sniper to help him. She struggles to reload her sniper, but she finally does. Before the predator could kill Royce, Isabel manages to shoot the predator in the chest, before the predator turns to her and shoots his blade at her, which stabs her in the shoulder. Royce uses this opportunity to pick up the predator's axe and strikes him with it, which knocks off its helmet. He then uses it to cut off its arm, before he finally finishes it by cutting its head off. He goes over to Isabel and tells her that his name is Royce. As they start to leave, they notice many other parachutes coming down, before Royce suggests they find a way off the planet before both of them start to walk away.